Everybody, does it seem reasonable that the source of all things, God, would want us to be successful? I believe so. I believe that the source of all things wants everybody to live in abundance. But I think, just from looking around all the people that I know in business and middle class, upper middle class, everybody has a little bit different definition of what it is to be successful, especially us civilized humans, which I don't think we're that civilized. You know, a nice house is considered successful. Like, yeehaw! And there's nothing wrong with having a nice house. Everybody should have a very comfortable, big old ass, nice tent to live in. And it should be fantastic. We should have everything we want. But is that success? It is to a lot of people. To a lot of people, that is the measure of a man or a woman. But what about these houses? Which one would the infinite universe look down and go, all right, these guys are getting it right and these guys are getting it wrong. They have everything they need. This is what's called an eco-community. Like, they have the perfect size home, just, everybody builds exactly what they need. But they surround their entire land with edibles. They have all the food that they ever want. They have everything that they want and need. And everybody helps each other out. And it's a growing trend around the world for people to start coming together and forming their own communities to live this way, to break out of that system of living in such a way that makes zero sense. Like, no sense at all. Is this considered successful? You can drive around any subdivision in any city and you see the same thing, the same manicured yards. Everybody is so busy they don't understand or even know who their neighbors are. Maybe you get together every now and then for a block party. Maybe you wave to them, maybe you don't. How often do they come over? Do y'all talk about y'all's issues? Do you talk about your trauma? Do you talk about, hey, neighbor, I'm heading to the grocery store. I can pick up something for you. I mean, how many times have you done that for your neighbor? Most people is about zero. Except here. Ricky calls me all the time before he goes to the grocery store. Thanks, Ricky. But what a waste of space. Everybody is put themselves into this matrix system where they are relying on another entity to make sure that they have water, to make sure that they have food, to make sure that my whole life is to get up in the morning, hurry up and go work, hurry up and come home, take care of the kids, put everybody to bed, and go right back into the same thing I'm always doing because I'm running in this circle. And I'm trying to get ahead of the Joneses. Oh, God, they just got a new car. I'm going to do some overtime so I can get my new car. And I'm going to put some rims on mine. I'm going to look sweet. But that's the measure of success to a lot of people. But what we're missing is a little bitty lot that size can produce enough food for probably that entire block. And it doesn't take much effort. It's just called permaculture. But in most cases, you can't do that because the homeowners associations are so strict. And, oh, no, we can't have these kind of plants or this kind of thing, because they're brainwashed fools. But instead, we'll say this is perfectly normal. Instead, we'll rely on a food system that this is where our food comes from. Spraying it with chemicals and poisons, and we just ingest it all day. We don't even know where it's coming from. We just, let's eat the poison. And we wonder why cancer rates are through the roof. We wonder why we have lost connection with Mother Earth. We have an Indian out here. He's about to get reconnected with Mother Earth. Thank God. And then what do we do with the food? It's a good thing we throw most of it in the trash. But I don't think this is how our Creator wants us to live. We waste so much food. It's probably a good thing we waste it because most of it is absolute poison. but we're wasteful. Extremely wasteful. Now these two pictures up top, like that's a permaculture yard, and they made it beautiful. And there's another example of one in somebody's backyard, and everything is designed exactly how Mother Nature would want it. You have the big, beautiful canopy trees that are providing the right shelter for everything that's growing in the food system, like it's a full system. And once you get it in place, it's not much work. It doesn't take much to take care of it. And all of a sudden, you have food abundance for everybody. People spend a big chunk of their monthly income on food when it can all be free or practically free. But why do we do that? We give up our personal souls, our sovereignty, our individuality to these big corporations, and we rob ourselves. Like we steal from ourselves the ability to walk over to my neighbor's house and say, hey, know you're growing some carrots. Hey, I got some sweet potatoes. Y'all swap out and y'all have a nice conversation. Y'all get to know each other. He gives you some tips on what he's doing. And everybody is creating a symbiotic, energized relationship amongst each other. We're stealing that from ourselves. And most people don't even realize it. Instead, we act like a bunch of little kids just want to tear up everything and waste everything and break all our toys. Like this little spoiled, rotten craphead. I don't think God would think that we are being successful living in this civilized country or in any Western country. We are eating and breathing poison and polluting everything. Now, do you think that whenever we drive down interstate, next time y'all are driving down any interstate, look at all the trees on both sides of the road. They're the healthiest, closest to the interstate. Why is that? Because we're feeding them with what we're driving with. They love it. They eat it. A lot of things that we've been told in this world is a lie. And this is really bad. And that's not from Joe Blow. We're promoting it because we promote this way of living. We're trapped in this system, this pattern of life that we are refusing to even recognize. We're using our inner human intuition. I think that we could reasonably deduce that God would likely be very disappointed in how we live collectively as a human race. We poison our bodies, our soil, and our soul. And we're extremely wasteful. Extremely wasteful. I just think that my friend, God, is just scratching his head. He's going, what are these idiots doing? Like, what are y'all doing? What are you doing to yourself? I gave you all the tools. Y'all have everything that you need. Like everything. I've given you the blueprints to every seed. You know what will grow if you plant that. You know that if you go have beautiful love with your wife, you're going to ultimately probably have a baby. You know if you go out and take a cucumber and you plant it in the ground, you're probably going to get a cucumber. I mean, God made it pretty simple for us to figure out how to do stuff. But we just keep putting up all these mental blocks and these walls everywhere, and we think this is success if I go and rush to beat the Joneses and get a brand new truck. I mean, everybody needs a new truck. But is that the most important thing, like this girl driving her car? Yeah, I mean, that's a great feeling to get a new car. It smells good. You know it's reliable. Those things are important. It is important to have reliable, good, quality things to use. Whether it is a writing instrument, whether it is a vehicle, whether it is a good roof over your house. That's important, but it's not the only thing that is important. These are very temporary satisfactions. When you're on your deathbed, are you going to think about that new car smell? No. You're not going to be thinking about that new car smell. You're not going to be thinking how pissed off you were that your rims were smaller than your neighbor's on his truck. And if you are, then you got some big problems. And if you're in the local area, you probably need to come out here and visit with us. Or is this real success? Friends gathering to talk and to heal our traumas, to solve problems. to develop bonds. Like, that is what you might remember when you're on your deathbed. How about a father giving good, caring wisdom to his son? How many of us would love to have our dads give us good wisdom? Talk to us. That's what I'll remember. Or the lack thereof. Are putting a higher value on things that are meaningful, that make us want to do and be more. Like, there is nothing wrong with having nice cars and a jet. And I don't know why a lot of us don't. But who cares? I like what Martin Luther King says. I want to judge people by the content of their character. Not the color of their skin, not their religion, not their social status. The content of their character. Are they reliable? Do they lie? Do they cheat and steal from you? Well, you might want to separate yourself from people that cheat and steal. I think that's what we're going to remember. That's what life is about as you navigate this world. Are you reliable? What is your character? You know, this is youthful success to a lot of people. They go to college. I mean, you can look at Noah. Or you can look at Kevin back there. They just think this is the greatest shit ever, man. Let's just get hammered. Let's do it, man. Well, why is this a societal norm in the first place? Like, how does this ever start? Because I've done this stupid crap too, especially when I was young. I mean, I'd go out on business meetings till 1, 2 in the morning and have to drink because I thought that was what society had told me I was supposed to be doing. Stupid. It's just stupid. Why do we do this stuff to ourselves? Like, just why? I mean, success is creating a world that we want to live in. Like, I want to have a good relationship with my wife. I want to always be cognizant that I am loving her and respecting her and doing the things that enhance my life with her. It's important. I want to have good food the best I can. I want to be able to pray and meditate and know that I'm connecting with something higher than me that is allowing me to connect with everybody else in a positive way. And I always want to kiss her like that. We need real relationships, real love, real meditation. We need all these things that are real. And then does it make any sense? Like, we're all fooled. You go walking down the grocery aisle and you have this perception like, look at all the choices I have. Well, there's only a handful of companies that make all of it. It's only a few of them. But they have little different names and it's all the same poison. It's a little different flavor. It's a little different fooling you. It's all the same. It's mostly all crap. So we rely, we work, and we struggle to go get bamboozled. And then what do? How many people have seen this in the recent past when we've gone through this thing that we went through? There's a lot of empty shelves all the time. Is it living successfully to not be prepared for yourself, for your loved ones, and for your neighbors? If God is all around us and in us, I'm perplexed. Like, he has to be thinking, what are y'all doing? Why even go to a grocery store when you don't have to? I've given you everything, and it's not even hard work. You and a few of your neighbors could spend just an hour a week together and make the most fantastic food forest ever, and you'd have everything you ever needed. Like these guys. Just an old country couple living out. Everything is growing. Everything. And you plant things to where your beans produce nitrogen for the soil, for other things, and you create this symbiotic relationship where everything feeds off of each other, and you grow it. And it just flourishes all on its own. We have given our sovereignty, our individual sovereignty over to other people with our consent. And I think it's time for that to start changing. Like this? Like, what are we doing to ourselves? Well, this is happening all over in every city across the United States. Homeless camps everywhere now. And they were never taught to take care of themselves. I know a lot of you guys watching now, because we got a lot of people in East Texas and North Louisiana to watch. Oh, well, I can go out and hunt. I can get all the food I want. I've been hunting with my daddy and granddaddy my whole life. Yeah, maybe so until you can't get gas. Maybe so until you run out of ammo. Maybe so for a tiny fraction of time. Maybe. But most guys that think that are big, fat, out of shape, and couldn't run 30 feet to get to their truck to escape from being attacked in the woods by other hungry people. If you don't have emotional self-defense, physical self-defense, spiritual self-defense, inner strength, you're screwed. I mean, it ain't hard. You can look around right now and you can see the destruction of the middle class. It's happening right in front of your face. History has showed it over and over and over again. Stalin starves millions and millions. Mao, 60, 80 million. Nobody even knows for sure. We got wars and, it's happened everywhere. And we think somehow, because we've never experienced right here on this little piece of dirt we're on, that it ain't going to happen here. I was born in 1971. That's a short few decades at the end of World War II. We had genocide just a few decades before I was born. And from the time I've been born till now, what do we have? We've had Cambodia, Darfur, Bosnia, Rwanda. It's happened all over the world. We are no exemption. And you can see everything setting up for that grand design in these minds of twisted people. And if you don't think that's true, then you're a fool and you're burying your head in the sand. This is not the solution. Killing Indians, running them down, getting them out. The Trail of Tears, which I know you are familiar with, Jonathan.
There's more than just the trail.
That's right. There's a lot more. But that's not the solution. Eating lab-grown meat is definitely not the solution. I mean, they're trying to sell that, and we have, all of us here have eaten lab-grown meat and not known. It's everywhere. It uses more electricity. It's filled with all kinds of nasty crap. And it is totally unhealthy. Why? Why do we do that when we can have it all ourselves? That is not the solution. Nobody's ever going to solve anything by that. We're never going to get anywhere by yelling at each other. I must be right because I can yell louder than Jackson. Must be right. He's taller than me, so I have to yell louder. I don't think that works. I don't think it makes any sense. That's not the solution. Man, I got this big void in my heart and soul, so I must eat another hamburger, and man, I'm going to feel all right. It's just like somebody wanting to have another drink. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be able to come out of my shell. I'm going to be able to fill that inner void with some food or crack or a shot of whiskey or whatever it is instead of really focusing on what's in here. It's difficult to do sometimes. A lot of times it's easier to have a hamburger. It's easier to do a shot. That's definitely not the solution. We're doing it all over the world. All over the world in the name of freedom. Yeah, it looks pretty free to me. Definitely not the solution. We see this all over Shreveport. We even see it in Wascom. We see people with shit all over their yard everywhere. If you got a cluttered mind, you're going to have a cluttered yard and home. You know exactly how somebody is thinking in their life if you drive past a number of places and anywhere around here. And you go, well, you know for a fact that person has some mental work to do. If you live like that, you need to get your lazy ass in your yard and clean your house. That's what you need to do. If you overdrink, you need to stop every time and just start praying, even if you think it's stupid. Do we have any solutions? I think they're all around us. Man, we know our neighbors, grow our food, be around people that want to lift you up and call you out, and in a good way to build you up. That is what we do. Let's live clean. Let's live organized. Let's have uncluttered minds. Let's use our critical thinking before we do anything. Let's create communities that we can love and build each other up instead of everybody tearing each other down. Just like the video I just was posted the other day is, Mama was right. Don't talk bad about anybody. Don't talk bad about anybody. Just keep your mouth shut, unless it's unavoidable. That's the kind of people we want to be around, people that will help build each other up and only call us out whenever we need to be called out. And we don't need to be applauding these brave boys going to war. We need to be crying for them. And we need to laugh. We need to love. We need to be vulnerable. And we got to go within. We have to go within so we can be better people, so we can communicate better with ourselves, so we can communicate better with others, so we can communicate better with God. And we should all come together in our own ways, whether it's our neighbors, our church, our communities, and find ways to break our patterns of living so we can live better, love and understand our higher self, so that we can connect with each other in meaningful ways. If that resonates with you, we are here every Sunday at 1:15. Do not be late, please, like Kevin was today. And so thank y'all for coming, and I appreciate y'all watching. MysticsofTexas.com, MysticsofTexas.com. We'll see you next time.